In this video, we're going to talk about something not so nice, and that is the exit tax or the expatriation tax. All of these things sound very horrible and dystopian, and actually this is also how it is in reality. In Germany, if you have 1% share in any of the private limited and you've been living in Germany for the last 7 years, funny thing, just in 2022 it used to be 10 years, so now they have even reduced it further, so it is applicable to even more people. So you have a private limited in Germany, you've been doing that private limited since 7 years and you've been living in Germany. So it does not matter what kind of nationality you have. First of all, that's very important to remember. No matter what nationality you have, you don't have to be German. You just need to have a German company in Germany, a German private limited. And you need to have that for a minimum 7 years. Then all of a sudden, you have all of these horrible things coming up to you. And I'm going to explain it to you with an example so that it is much more clear for you to understand. Because all of these extra XYZ numbers will not mean anything unless I show you an example and show you how crazy all of this actually is. Because what the German state thinks is the moment you are moving away from Germany is you're essentially selling your company, even though you haven't sold your company. And the taxes which are going to be coming out by the sale of your company are going to be what you have to pay in taxes, even if you do not have the money at hand, because you have not sold the company, you just have moved out of Germany to another place. Let's take a look at this example. In the first year, you were making 145,000 euros, and this is profit. This is not the revenue. And then year 2, you're making 201,000. Year 3, you're making 213,500, and the average comes out to be 186,500 euros. How companies are generally evaluated is that they are generally multiplied by some kind of factor. Sometimes it is 6, sometimes it is 10, depending on what kind of company you have. And here, for example, for the Wegzugsbesteuerung, they are taking a very big number. Now, for example, if you are having a company which is making 200,000 euros in profit, and would you be willing to pay like 13 times of that? So you're having like around 2.56 million euros. I mean, for example, if you're having a property which is just 256,000 euros and you'll be making like 18,000 euros of profit from that, that is actually not so bad. That's around like 1,500 euros of income if you think about it in the property terms, right? So they're thinking it in a similar way. So when they want to evaluate, they want to see what kind of yield you might be having from this property, and that's how they calculate things. Fictitiously, if you're having a property of 256,000 euros and making 1,500 euros in rent every single year, that's not a bad business at all. And that's exactly how they are thinking about your profits and the value of your company. So let's say here you're having then 186,500 euros, and they say that your company is worth 2.56 million euros. Now, 60% of this has to be taxed at the personal income tax that you have. So of course, if you're making like this kind of money, you can end up going much further. So 186,000 euros, it's pretty normal to have a minimum of 30% tax at this stage. If you'd be making 257,000 euros, 260,000 euros, then it goes up to 45%, right? So that's very important to also remember. Now here, let's say as the example we took, if it's 30% your income tax, then you'd be paying 60% of the value of the company, which is 1.5 million. And this will be taxed at 30%, which is going to give you 461,587 euros. Now, funny thing, if you see here, if I add all these numbers above, right, like that is, you're having all of the profit and you have saved all of the profit and you have not spent a single cent. I'm going to make things a little bit simple. So I'll take 213, 201 and 145. 569,000 euros you have made in the last 3 years, and they are asking you to put 461,000 euros. 461,000 euros in taxes. So you should have almost saved almost 80 or 90% of the money that you have been making, and you shouldn't have been spending it in anything at all if you're thinking about leaving Germany in any shape or form whatsoever. And when you are leaving Germany, you're essentially starting very close from 0 or 10% anyways, because the government would have taken all of your money. So this is the kind of mistake that you can make if you are opening a game behind Germany. So anybody else who is like, promoting or telling you, hey, like, it's not a problem at all, open a game behind Germany, it will not be an issue whatsoever because you are from different nationality. Because again, I'm speaking to expats here. Most of you are from different countries and are business oriented. You want to start your own projects in Germany and so on. If you do that, like, this is what comes to you. This is the kind of terror that the German state wants to inflict on you just because you decided to close operations in Germany, or you're not closing operations in Germany, you're just like, shifting your place where you live, even as a private person. As a private person, you shift the place where you're living, and all of a sudden, you have to pay these kind of taxes. So this is something you have to be very careful about. And I got really lucky because I never used to have a private limited in Germany. I told you this before. So the private limited did not exist in my case. I just simply used to have an Einzelunternehmer, which is a sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship I used to have from October 2017 to February 2021. So if you calculate 2018, 19, 20, 3 full years, then afterwards 2 months of February and 3 months of October, so around almost 3.5 years, I used to have a sole proprietorship in Germany. And then we moved out. Like, we got really lucky. Like, to be honest, if I did not move out and everything would have been running really, really nicely in Germany, I would not even know that these kind of regulations are there. And this would mean that someday if I want to move with my family somewhere else and I want to close the company, or I want to just like simply move and want to keep running my company whatsoever, all of a sudden you are faced with these kind of regulations which are pretty horrible. Now, another thing to note is that there are different kind of lens that the German state keeps in mind. So for example, if you just like moved out of the country for just 7 years or something, then it is going to be considered as a temporary moving out, and it used to be 12 years previously and so on. So there are like different kind of regulations which fall in this, but overall, the overarching scenario is that if you have a company in Germany and then you move out afterwards, you're screwed. And I know this from somebody also who is extremely successful. He used to have 1,300 employees in Germany, and then he let his son run the company, and he moved to Romania, and he's also like having a construction company there. And he told me that it took 3 years for him of back and forth with the Finanzamt to prove that he's no longer living in Germany, to pay all of the taxes, things like that, so that they leave him alone afterwards. Because you also need a certificate which says that you have no further taxes pending in Germany in order to be a tax resident in any other country. So all of these things sound really horrible, and they are indeed very horrible. And this is the reason why I say, like, instead of having a company in Germany, it makes so much more sense to have a company in Romania. And this is just like me giving an example. If you just go online after this video, just read as much as you want about Wegzugsbesteuerung, and I can assure you that every single article that you'll be reading is going to make you a little bit more scared, till the point that you have no desire whatsoever to have a GmbH at all in Germany. It's better to have a private limited outside Germany. It is better to have a small business, sole proprietorship in Germany. It is better not to hire anybody as a sole entrepreneur in Germany if you're just starting new and you don't have like this old money, these old company money and so on. If you don't have that, for example, from BMW, BASF, Bayersdorf, things like that, then you'd be much better off, and you'd be having much more freedom. You'd be a lot more relaxed and a lot more at peace if you're having a company outside Germany and not in Germany itself. Sounds really horrible. I know this completely. But this is why I say, do your own research. Take a look at all of these resources that you can find on Wegzugsbesteuerung, and you'll be as scared as I am about opening a company in Romania. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to start a company in Romania, we have the links for that in the description below. So you can just write us a message, you can let us know what your situation is, and my accountant is going to get back to you. And again, the funny thing is that I'm giving you access to my own accountant who is running my own company since the last 2 years. So it is not that I'm referring you to somebody else who has no idea on how to run companies in Romania or how to do the bookkeeping and stuff, but I'm giving you access to my own accountant who has been tried and tested. I'm pretty happy with her so far. So that's all from my side. If you have any kind of further questions for me and so on, you can also book a one-on-one appointment for that. All of the links for that you'll find in the description. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.